Here,
Yep.
I control him,
Yep.
or I come in here.
Ah.
Yeah. Over here, then again, come in. He's gonna be over here. The third one.
How intense would a battle be if Donnie Yen, the kung fu expert, faced off against an Aikido master like Steven Seagal? Both are legendary action stars in the film industry. If such a fight were to actually take place, it would undoubtedly draw massive attention from fans worldwide. But the biggest question remains, who would emerge as the victor? Before we attempt to answer that, let's take a closer look at the skills and abilities of these two legendary martial artists. Let's start with Donnie Yen. Born on July 27, 1963, he is a Chinese actor, filmmaker, martial artist, and action director. He is best known for portraying Wing Chun Grandmaster Ip Man in the Ip Man film series. Of course, he was chosen to play a Wing Chun Grandmaster for a reason. Yen is highly skilled in various martial arts, particularly Kung Fu. Throughout his life, Yen has demonstrated his talent, expertise, and mastery in various combat and martial arts disciplines. He has trained in Tai Chi, Jeet Kune Do, Taekwondo, Karate, Judo, Shaolin Kung Fu, Wing Chun, Wushu, and several other renowned martial arts from around the world. However, what stands out the most about Donnie Yen is his exceptional skill in Kung Fu. This is because Yen began learning Kung Fu at a young age under the guidance of his mother. Impressively, after mastering the martial art, the Beijing Wushu team invited Yen to Beijing, China, where he trained at the Beijing Sports Institute, the same prestigious facility where legendary action star Jet Li honed his skills. It must be acknowledged that Donnie Yen's Kung Fu skills are not to be underestimated. This is evident from the videos he has recorded, where he demonstrates the lightning-fast attack techniques of Kung Fu. Moreover, the precision of his hand movements makes his strikes incredibly powerful and undeniably painful. Yen's deep interest in Kung Fu is certainly not without reason. This martial art, also known as Wushu, is a combat style that has evolved over centuries in Greater China. Kung Fu typically includes Shaolin Quan physical training, which involves mimicking animal movements or practicing techniques inspired by ancient Chinese philosophy, religion, and legends. Some Kung Fu styles draw inspiration from animal movements, mimicking the agility and strength of creatures like the tiger, snake, or monkey. Other styles are rooted in Chinese philosophy, myths, and legends, incorporating their principles and symbolism into their techniques. Certain Kung Fu schools place a strong emphasis on harnessing and manipulating QE, or life energy, while others prioritize the competitive aspect, focusing on sparring and tournaments. That being said, it doesn't mean that Steven Seagal's Aikido wouldn't pose a formidable challenge. After all, as we know, the man born on April 10, 1952, holds a black belt in Aikido. His expertise and extensive experience in this martial art make it clear that he is not someone to be underestimated. It all began when Seagal developed an interest in Aikido at a young age. He started studying this Japanese martial art under the guidance of Rod Kobayashi in California. After training with Kobayashi, he decided to move to Japan with his first wife, Miyako Fujitani. This decision was influenced by the fact that Fujitani's father was an Aikido instructor in Osaka, providing Seagal with the perfect opportunity to further deepen his martial arts skills. His dedication and training ultimately led him to earn his black belt in 1978. As a result, Seagal's Aikido techniques are truly impressive. This can be seen in footage of his sparring sessions with other Aikido experts. With his mastery of the art, Seagal remains virtually untouchable, effortlessly deflecting and neutralizing his opponents, even when facing multiple attackers at once.
To the side, way over from here, I will go up between his legs, drop and pin this.
The extraordinary abilities of Steven Seagal are undeniably tied to the martial art of Aikido. This is because Aikido itself encompasses various techniques, particularly throws and joint locks. In its philosophy, the primary goal of Aikido practice is self-mastery, rather than fostering violence or aggression. Generally, Aikido is a Japanese martial art that emphasizes harmony and non-resistance, focusing on redirecting an opponent's energy and achieving conflict resolution peacefully. This explains why Seagal primarily deflects attacks from his opponents rather than engaging aggressively. So, with each fighter's unique background and skill set, who would emerge as the victor? Would it be Donnie Yen with the lightning-fast strikes of his Kung Fu, or Steven Seagal, whose Aikido techniques make him nearly untouchable? In an analysis, Seagal holds the advantage in physical strength, control, and extensive experience in Aikido. On the other hand, Yen excels in speed, agility, adaptability, and overall better physical conditioning.
すごいなこれは。
In a real fight, Donnie Yen might have the upper hand due to his speed, agility, and ability to adapt to various situations. Steven Seagal, while strong and highly experienced, may be at a disadvantage in terms of mobility and reaction speed, especially considering his age. However, the outcome of such a fight would ultimately depend on physical condition, strategy, and the specific circumstances of the encounter. If Seagal were able to control the fight and effectively apply his joint locks and throws, he could potentially neutralize Yen's speed. That said, overall, Yen presents a more well-rounded and adaptive profile, making him better suited for real-world combat.